This is a short video remembering some of the films featuring John Hurt, who died on the 27th of January 2017. You may remember him from any of his numerous roles. He was a very memorable actor. Perhaps you remember him most from 10 Rillington Place, where he plays Timothy Evans, a man wrongly tried and executed for killing his wife and baby, who were in fact victims of notorious serial killer John Christie.
Yes, it works out less of an expense, that's what we find.
Or perhaps Alien, where he plays Kane, a spaceship's executive officer, an unlucky host of a man-hunting alien. Or maybe he's best remembered as John Merrick in The Elephant Man, for which he was nominated for an Academy Award.
I am not an animal! I am a human being!
He was also in many more modern films. Hellboy, some of the Harry Potters, Tailor Soldier Spy. For me, I'll mostly remember John Hurt as Winston Smith in 1984, an adaptation of Orwell's book of the same name. In that film, Hurt plays Smith as an oppressed peon of a communist dictatorship in post-atomic war London. He plays him as someone entirely brainwashed into a completely different way of thinking and speaking, yet still identifiably English, and still identifiably human. Defiant but weak, powerless and sympathetic.
Do you remember writing in your diary, freedom is the freedom to say 2 + 2 = 4?
Yes.
How many fingers am I holding up, Winston?
4.
And if the party says there are not 4, but 5, then how many?
5.
John Hurt played Winston Smith as he played so many roles, with real intelligence. Hurt's first film, also the debut of Ian McShane, was an early 60s British movie about a group of students at university.
Oh, I think it's exactly the sort of part you should play.
His break, however, was as Richard Rich in A Man for All Seasons, a big-budget piece about Thomas More.
If only you knew how much rather I'd your help than his.
In the late 60s and early 70s, Hurt built a reputation for himself as a captivating stage actor. Critics then, and for the rest of his life, often crediting the qualities of his voice and his lived-in face, as well, of course, as his often very subtle facial expressions and inflections of tone.
When will you shoot me?
It might take a long time. But don't give up hope.
In 1975, Hurt became much more widely known thanks to his role as Quentin Crisp in The Naked Civil Servant. Based on Crisp's autobiography, Hurt plays an out-and-proud civil servant and transvestite.
It was the first, last, and only time that I have ever been in a crowd of people where I was the centre of attention without feeling that I was in danger.
See that copper over there? If you don't give us £1 each, right, I'm going to tell him that you've been fiddling with these two.
I defy you to do your worst. It can hardly be my worst. Mine has already and often happened to me. You cannot touch me now. I am one of the stately homos of England.
It was a risk in the 70s to take on such a role, but it was a risk that paid off. And The Naked Civil Servant remains not only a great piece of writing, but perhaps one of Hurt's best roles. He particularly enjoyed playing outsiders. I think most of his performances display that quite easily. You can tell that he really does empathise with many of the characters he's played. And whether he's playing the despicable Caligula in I, Claudius,
He said, one who is going to die soon will become the greatest god the world has ever known.
or the pitiful John Merrick in The Elephant Man, Hurt's incredible presence never fails to capture and hold the attention and imagination of the audience. R.I.P. John Hurt. Thanks for joining me. I'll leave you with this.
It's not a sermon. But life is a bit like a mountain. You spend most of your life climbing up it. And then you suddenly realize when you got to the top of it, you've got to spend the rest of your life going down it. But you've got to remember that going down is as much fun as going up. And actually, it's a little bit more fun because you can remember what it was, the struggle of getting up. Mm-hmm. and you can go down a little bit more gently, perhaps, you know?
Yeah.
But